Well, we do receive voicemails from our listeners, and you can leave us a voicemail 24 hours a day at 833-THE-CORE. Here's one that came in from one of our listeners named Tim.
Hello, Adriel. I do have a question, and I really do respect all the knowledge that you have, and I listen to you a lot. So I feel like fairly confident that the scripture supports Satan knows that Jesus is God. So my thinking that I came to was, why would he take the time to lead Jesus out in the desert after his baptism and try to tempt him, knowing full well that, he was going to lose that battle and so forth. So I don't know. It's kind of an overall systematic question that I have in terms of why Satan even puts up a fight. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate you. You're very intelligent, and I believe you're a gift to all of us that are Christians.
Tim, what kind words, and thank you for your encouragement and for listening to the broadcast. What a good question too. What does Satan think he's doing? He's tempting the Son of God there in the wilderness. I'm looking at Matthew chapter 4 right now. And, if he is this angelic being with certainly more knowledge than us, and throughout the Gospels, right, don't the demons recognize who Jesus is? Don't they shriek and cry out, what do we have to do with you, Jesus, Son of the Most High God? It seems like they know who he is. And yet, despite this, the devil is trying to trip him up, is seeking to tempt him. Now, there's a lot happening there in Matthew chapter 4. It's fascinating in the flow of Matthew's gospel. Jesus is really walking in the footsteps of Israel in the Old Testament. He's coming as the true Israelite. There in particular with the temptation, the 40-day temptation, you think of Israel's temptation in the wilderness for 40 years and how they fell into sin and rebelled against the Lord. Well, here's Jesus, the true Israelite, coming, being perfectly obedient to the Father, enduring the temptation and passing the test for our sakes, truly. But again, getting to your question, why would the devil do this if he knows who he's dealing with? And here's what I would say, just thinking about this right now. One thing I do know is that sin stupefies us. Sin stupefies us. It has this blinding effect. Pride, arrogance, sin keeps us from seeing clearly and acting in ways that make sense, right? I mean, we know this personally. We see it in the lives of the people around us at times, even people that we really love. Like, man, how could you make that? You knew better. Well, that's what sin does. And when we're talking about the evil one, Satan, here is one who is full of pride, full of sin. And so I think one way of answering your question is to say, no, there is, this just highlights the blinding nature of sin, that it makes us think we can even stand against God. And you know what? We do that too, frankly. We can do that too in our own lives through sin, think that our ways, our knowledge, what we're doing is better than what the Lord has planned. And so I think there really is a simple, in one sense, maybe answer to this question, and it's that Satan, full of sin, is acting in ways that are irrational, but that's just what sin does. It's what it does to us. And so God purify us and help us through Jesus to walk in the light and to exercise wisdom as we seek to live under the grace of God. Thank you for that question, and thanks again, brother, for your encouragement.
That's a great analysis, Adriel, and I was also thinking how Satan is so prideful enough to believe that he could somehow tempt Jesus to fall.
Exactly. Isn't that, that's certainly in Scripture, the sin that's so often associated with the devil is that pride. And how pride, as a sin, does blind us. It makes us think that we're capable of things we're not capable of. And certainly that's something that we might be seeing there in Matthew chapter 4 with the devil and his attempt at tempting Jesus.